Hi, welcome to this episode of One Small Change, which is part of the project we're running during Lent as Oadby Baptist Church, in which we encourage everyone to make one small change each week, which will support creation and the environment. This week, I'm catching up with Mandy Penfold. Mandy has been the president of Oadby Lawned Rotary Club, who do a lot of really good work in the community. And one of their projects, which is headed up by Mandy, is called Plastic Free Oadby. Here's Mandy to tell us about it.
But then when I became president, that's when I wanted us to look at more environmental projects and think about the environment, because I think it's something that's affecting us and the world. Yeah. And I was thinking about recycling. I'm quite big on recycling and trying to get more of that going. And then I found out, you know, Shaylish, don't you, who's in Oadby Lawned, and Shaylish was on the same sort of path with me as me. He was keen on the environment, and he'd made this connection with Surfers Against Sewage and plastic-free communities. And I think you met us when we were early on in this campaign, didn't you, Chris? And we were talking about it. And it was very fortuitous as well, because at that time is when Neil O'Brien became involved, and he was having this meeting in Oadby to talk about single-use plastic. And that's where we made contacts with other community groups. And so Plastic Free Oadby was born in November 2019. And unfortunately, you know, it's been great because we've got Oadby and Wigston Borough Council, and Dave Carter's been a really good supporter for us, and Pride of the Borough, ASDA, the churches, Jim Gannon with Zest, and Leicestershire Adult Learning and people. But we've got, the idea was we were going to try and get out into the community more, and we were going to go to ASDA, and we were going to demonstrate to people how they could reduce their single-use plastic. But of course, all that came to an end with the virus when we got the pandemic. So we had to, you know, go back and think about it. But I think when we talk about plastic, it's not about getting rid of all plastic in the world, because we can't do that. You know, plastic's got its uses in medicine, and we've all seen it in the PPE, haven't we? But it's just trying to get people, you know, we are addicted to single-use plastic. You know, it is everywhere you look. And that's the thing that we're really concerned with, is trying to get people to think about what they're using that's single-use plastic and how they can reduce that need for it. I mean, I think it's frightening, because I think what people don't appreciate is all the plastic that's been produced in the world still exists. It just breaks down into these very, very tiny microplastics that are in our oceans and everywhere else. And that's a scary thing, that, you know, it can take thousands of years for some of this to disappear. You know, even things like plastic bags can take 450 years to completely break down.
I guess the challenge is also that when the plastic's being made, it's also releasing carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide, yeah.
At the beginning and at the end, it's a problem. Whereas a lot of other things, it's just one area of problem. This has two problems tied in with it.
It goes all the way through, really. And it's the long-term effects on our health, because, you know, I was reading that 1 in 3 fish caught has got plastic inside it. So we're consuming that. And I think and we still don't know. I mean, I can't believe the effects are going to be good. You know, they're still early stages, but it can't be good for us to be ingesting this plastic into our bodies, you know. And, you know, the sea, there's going to be more plastic in the sea than there is marine life if we carry on. So that's really where we're coming from. And now we're looking, I'm just being proofreading. We're producing this leaflet that's going to be distributed to every household in Oadby to try and think about their single-use plastic. We're just asking people to take a step back and think about it. And of course, the pandemic has made things worse, because the thing that's what we all see littered everywhere now are these single-use masks. Over 100 million are thrown away in the UK each week, which is really scary, isn't it? And they won't break down. They've either got to be incinerated, go to landfill, or they are littering, and they will be, you know, in our environment, in the sea or whatever. So you know, it's something that I think there's got to be alternatives found to it, really, because if we go on producing them at this rate all over the world, it's going to be a huge problem. Yeah.
So do you think there are any particular uses that we have where we could, as individuals, we could be starting to think, well, I'm not going to do that now, I'm going to do this instead? Because once you do start looking, it is all over the place, isn't it?
It is. People looking at refillable things. I mean, when the hairdresser's open, I have a bottle and she refills it with shampoo, or you could use a bar, you know, it's and there's a lot more shops coming on board doing sort of refillable things for pasta and rice and beans and stuff like that.
Yeah, Nada in town's very good, and there's the Eco Village in Market Harbour as well.
Harbour, yeah, that's really good. Yeah, one of the best things. I don't know if you use these. Have you seen these?
Oh, right, no, I haven't got any. No, they're great, aren't they?
And they come in great sizes. So this little one, like if you've got half a lemon or something you cut, you can just cover it over. And I've saved so much on cling film because they really are good, and you just wash them out and reuse them. So I found those to be one of the best things, to save so much on cling film using those. These little coconut scrub pads, they're biodegradable, and you know, rather than, because anything that stretches has got plastic in it. That's what I keep saying to people, if it stretches, you know, it's got plastic in it somewhere. And obviously your drink bottle, we've all got those now. Yeah, and trying to buy loose fruit and vegetables. I suppose the shops are getting a bit better. Marks and Spencer's, I know, have paper bags now, don't they? And Sainsbury's have got these, which I'm not sure are probably the best environmental things, but at least they're reusable again for your fruit and vegetables, and not buying it. Try not to buy it pre-packed, buy it loose. It's usually cheaper as well.
Yeah, and Scott's on the parade, the stall that comes.
The stall that comes,
yeah. You can just go with an open bag, can't you?
Bag, yeah, I bought fruit and veg there. Yeah, you know, we're trying to look at ways of doing it which don't cost a lot. Because I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, but they can be expensive. You know, the beeswax packs are nice, but it's quite an expense for people to start with, and they do need replacing and things. I mean, I use greaseproof paper to wrap a lot of things. I mean, it's, you know, it's the old-fashioned way, isn't it? I suppose.
And I think when you really do need something to wrap it, aluminium foil can be recycled again and again, can't it?
Yeah,
so
that's I use aluminium foil a lot more. Yeah. So it's just looking at little things. We're saying about. I mean, I remember when my children were small, you didn't have wipes. You'd just take a damp face cloth in the bag or something, and you'd wipe them with that, you know, rather than using these reusable cloths. There seems to be this mindset. I mean, you get them for wiping floors, for wiping surfaces, toilets, everything, and you know, you can just use a cloth, and you don't need to have all these specialist wipes. It's just little things, just little changes make a difference, don't they?
And I think what I've come across is that a generation older than me are very good at that, because that's how they grew up, and the generation younger are very good at it because they're picking up new ways and they're making a choice and saying, well, I don't know why you would ever have done that. And it's actually my generation that are probably the worst.
We're the ones who actually, we're probably the ones who have changed it and gone on to this plastic. And I do feel guilty about it, you know.
I do as well.
We were doing it all, and we weren't thinking about what we were doing and the harm to the environment, really. So just trying to make amends now with this.
Absolutely, and it will. I think the more we can raise the profile with groups like Plastic Free Oadby and linking up with all the other environmental groups like Pride of the Borough, I think it will make a big difference over time.
And it's great. People, it's just, we all need to just think a bit more, don't we? That's the thing.
We do.
It's very easy, and hopefully with this, we've come to appreciate our environment more, really.
Absolutely.
And that, you know, it's precious and we should look after it a lot more, really. Yeah,
absolutely. Oh, that's really good. Thank you, Mandy.